Hi guys, this is Pete and this is my point of view on the game from tonight. Man United won, Real Sociedad 0. Obviously a game we won, but obviously we needed to win by 2 goals to get top of the group. To me, it was a game of 2 halves, and it's kind of took me a little while to get my head around it. I was considering not even doing this reaction till tomorrow to kind of give myself more time to think about the game in the second half, because it was just confusing to me. But we'll go into that more in a bit. So we're going to go through my thoughts on the game, player ratings, and a man of match poll that I did, and also just some of what you guys thought about the game through Twitter. So we'll start off with a man of the match poll. So I just put out there to see you guys thought were man of the match. I gave you 4 options. For me, the 4 best players today for us were David De Gea, Lisandro Martinez, Luke Shaw, and Alejandro Garnacho. So I put the poll out just after the game. It's been out there for 2 hours. We had like 48 votes on it, so that was a really good kind of vote for the short amount of time it was out there. So in last place in the vote was Luke Shaw, who actually got 0%, which was I saw as a little bit harsh because I thought he played really well. He gives us so much balance on the left, and I thought he deserved to maybe get at least 1 vote, but it is what it is. And then in second place was David De Gea, 23%. Now for me, De Gea was really good distribution wise, and the saves he made were really good as well. So he got 23%. And then in second place was Alejandro Garnacho with 31%. Had a good game, great finish, good goal. I would have loved to see him on the ball a bit more. And then your guys' man of the match was Lisandro Martinez, 46% of the vote. I kind of understand it. I thought he played really well. For me, he wasn't my man of the match, but I'll tell you my man of the match later. But I feel like he did play really well, and he's just, like I keep on saying, he's just got so much passion and fight, and great defending, so good with the ball. I got 1 comment on this which I'm going to read out from @MrCraigmore1, and he said, Martinez without a doubt, so composed again, breaking the lines, and he got us up the pitch. And I do agree with that. He was superb. So now I'm going to go on to my thoughts of the game. Obviously, first half I thought we played pretty well. First 10 minutes, bit of a slow start. Sociedad was on top without creating many chances, and then I feel like we came into the game in like the last 30 minutes of the first half. I thought, the goal was good. Nice ball out from the keeper, good header on by Fernandez. Fell to Ronaldo, the defender backed off, gave him time to get his head up and make that pass. And what a finish from Garnacho. I think he's going to be a star, guys. He's got something about him, every time he gets on the ball, he's so direct, he's very confident. I just kind of wish tonight that we'd have gave him the ball more. I feel like if we'd have got him on the ball more, we might have created a few more chances and possibly won the game by 2 goals and obviously got us top of the group. But yeah, I just thought he was superb. And then now I'm going to get on to the second half, and the changes really confused me. I back Erik ten Hag to the hilt, and I feel like he tried to affect the game, changing the formation, making the changes that he did. Obviously, just playing with a back 3, obviously with Martinez as just a 1 centre back, and then the two full backs kind of pushed in a little bit. I've just thought it didn't really work out, and he obviously put the extra midfielder on and brought Rashford on and tried to, but I found it strange how when Rashford came on, I know he's not great on the right, but I think he'd have offered us a bit more than what Fernandez, did. Obviously, Rashford's quite direct. He likes to run at people, whereas Fernandes needs the ball in the middle of the pitch, so he can put the ball into those passing lanes. And I just don't understand why he didn't bring Fernandes into that number 10 role and put Rashford out on the right. So that did confuse me. And then Maguire as a centre forward. Obviously I get why, because he just thought, let's lump it up there. But I just don't think it was ever going to work. For me, it was confusing. Now I'm going to go on to some of your guys' thoughts now. I put out a tweet, obviously just stating that I didn't know how I was going to do this match reaction, because my head was a bit battered from the subs that Erik Ten Hag made, and I didn't understand them. And I just wanted your guys' thoughts on what you thought of the game, just to kind of give me something to go off. And it did help, to be honest, so thanks for that. So the first tweet is from at DCOLOK. I don't know how to say it. So, and he said, the midfields are not creating enough chances, and Fernandes is playing badly in our recent matches. I think you can't be too critical of Fernandes today. Obviously, we've been playing out of position. I think if he plays in the number 10 role, that's where you get the best out of him. He did a job on that right-hand side, and I do get what you mean. He wasn't great, but I just don't feel like he's going to ever fulfill his full potential playing out on the right-hand side. And then next was from at Rents_Ivan, and he said, Erik Ten Hag was forced because we had nobody. It's a sign to the MUFC board that we need to make at least 3 signings this January. I do agree with that. I feel like, obviously, with the injuries that we've got, with Martial being out, Sancho being ill, Anthony picking up a knock, Varane being injured, it just kind of shows the lack of depth we've got in the squad. Like, I feel a couple of signings in January are a must, but I honestly don't know whether we're going to make them. All the stories that are coming out are saying that we're ahead of schedule and that they don't see a need to spend money in January, which I think would be stupid. And I think the only way we will spend money in January will be if we lose a couple of games on the bounce after we come back from the World Cup, and then the fans cause a riot. So I will implore you guys to put as much pressure on the Glazers as possible, not just to get signings, because obviously we want to get rid, but I would implore you guys to, as soon as we come back from the World Cup, even during the World Cup, get that hashtag going. Visible protests, obviously the 58 are trying to do a job to raise awareness. Back them if you can. If not, stage your own protests. Put pressure on the board. They need to start running this club better, else they're going to drive us into the ground. So, yeah, I agree we need signings, but I don't think we're going to get them. And then Thomas Holdham, number 7, said, Harry Maguire, the new Haaland. Obviously, I just didn't understand it. I get that you lumped him up front as another centre forward, but maybe why not try Palestri? Get another person on the pitch who's going to run at people, try and go past people, create things. I think it just turned it a little bit into desperation, into the old, when we had Fellaini playing for us, the old lump it up to Fellaini, hopefully we'll get a knockdown. That's not the way I want to see Ten Hag playing. I want him to back his style of football and to get the team to create chances. I do understand that Sociedad are a really tough team to play against. They play good football, and they're very gritty and dirty. To be honest, they did my head in tonight. They played the game like what Atletico do, where they slow the game down. They really they milk every foul. They take the time getting the subs on after the keeper takes the piss. So I do kind of get that they were a tough team. I just wish that Ten Hag had backed himself a little bit more and played the way that we want to see him play. And then the last tweet I got was from at RedKite20222, and he said, Erik Ten Hag's substitutions in recent games have worked brilliantly, but tonight he tried to be a little too cute chasing that second goal. we seemed to lose all shape and composure in the second half. I totally agree with it. I think first half we was okay. First 10 minutes a bit slow, but then we got up to pace and we scored the goal and was playing okay. Obviously, for me, Donny was a little bit ineffectual in the number 10 role, but I'm going to cut him slack because it was his first game back. I would have preferred us to bring a winger on, put Bruno in that number 10 position, stick to what we were doing in the first half and see whether we could have got that second goal that way, instead of obviously changing the formation to the, 3-3-1-3 formation, which I just found confusing and it hurt my head really bad. And then putting Maguire up front really hurt my head. So yeah, I just think he should have stuck to the way he wants to play, into his principles, because he's all about principles and how, the players have to do things his way. He should have stuck to his own way. Maybe he lost a little bit of confidence in himself just trying to get that win, which I understand. Obviously, it would have been better for us to miss this playoff that we're going to have after the World Cup with a team that's dropped out of the Champions League. But it is what it is, and I'm still confident we'll beat whoever we get. I hope we get Ajax, but because it would be nice to put some steam up European lad on Twitter, because what's more fun than that? So now, guys, we're going to quickly go into my player ratings. So, De Gea, for me, De Gea was our man of the match. I'm going to give him a 9. I think, distribution on point, played really well, made that double save, which was just world class. How he's not going to the Spain squad, I'll never understand. He's not in their 55-man provisional squad. I don't understand it, because he's been superb. He's a million times better than Kepa. I don't get this thing at the minute that Kepa's been good for Chelsea, but De Gea's just levels above. And for me, I'd have him in that Spain squad, but I'm not Enrique, so for me, his man of the match was superb. Then we move on to Delo. Delo tonight for me was a 7.5. Thought he played okay. Especially first half, there was a lot of decent switches of play to Luke Shaw, trying to get us to move a bit faster. And he's constantly up and down. Does his defensive work well? He's a lot better at defending than I gave him credit for last year, or he's improved under Ten Hag. That must be it, because I don't remember him being this good as a defender last year. So yeah, 7.5, can't argue with him. Then Lindelof, I'm going to give Lindelof a 7. I think Lindelof was decent until he went off. I think maybe he might have picked up a knock. That might have been why we made the change, but I think he was good. Composed on the ball, did all his defensive work well. Nothing much really to say. Just thought it was a good, steady performance. Martinez was a contender for man of the match. I'm going to give him an 8.5. Thought he was really good. He just defensively so tenacious. Loads of passion. Really good on the ball. Absolutely breaks the lines, like Craig said before. Breaks the lines, gets us moving forward. Soon as he's on crack, saying he's not good on the ball. I don't know which Martinez he's been watching. Maybe it's Emi Martinez from Aston Villa, because it sure as hell can't be Lissandro that he's been watching, because he's superb on the ball. And then next we move on to Luke Shaw. Again, Luke Shaw, I thought he was really good. Give him an 8. I think he's just the engine on him. He's up and down all the time. Love him on the overlap. He put some decent stuff into the box. Defensively, really astute. So yeah, an 8. I put him in my man of the match picture, but obviously he didn't get any votes. But I thought he was really good. Then we move into the midfield. Casemiro, obviously for me, could have got into the man of the match thing. I'd say an 8. I think he's really, it's the way he is on the ball has surprised me so much. I thought I knew what type of player he was in terms of tackling, getting the ball back, but I never expected him to use the ball as well. He does, just so calmly, keeps it easy and simple, can break the lines as well. Superb player. I'm really enjoying watching Casemiro play. And a lot of people said he's come here for money, but he's not playing like he's here for money, so can't argue with him. Then we move on to Ericsson. Ericsson tonight, I'm going to give him a 6, maybe 6.5. I think he was a little bit sloppy, looked a little bit tired. I think he missed having Fernandez in front of him. I think them two link up really well, and I think having Donny there, he didn't look as confident. But yeah, just give him a steady 6. Not much more to say. I'd have played Fred possibly and gave him a rest, but for that energy in the midfield, I think Fred would have been the better choice. But obviously we've got to back Ten Hag's choices. Then we move to Donny. Donny, I don't want to be too harsh. It's his first game in a long time. You know, he was a little bit invisible, a bit ineffectual. There's a few good touches, but I can't really remember what he did too much. I'm going to give him a 5.5. I don't want to be too harsh. I want to see him get a couple of games on the bounce and see what type of player he actually is, to see whether he's good enough for United. He's been here for 3 years and I still don't know, because we've just not seen him play enough. Maybe that's because he's not good enough, but we'll have to see. And then now we move on to the right hand side, Fernandez. I thought Fernandez, he worked really hard and he did try his best to create things, but off that right hand side it just doesn't suit him. I'm going to give him a 6. I would, like I said, I would have pushed him to the number 10 position, but it just didn't. He just doesn't look right on the right, and that's all I've got to say really. And then we move to the left hand side, Garnacho. Garnacho 8, like I said before, superb finish. You know, very direct, constantly seems to be working hard, seems to have the right attitude. So yeah, I can't argue with him. And then we move up front to Ronaldo. Now, Ronaldo, I'm going to give him a 6. He got the assist. Obviously, he missed that chance with the lob, possibly over the keeper. I'm not sure whether it would have been classed as offside or not, but he should have finished it anyway, just to give him that decision to make. I think he tried hard. He really tried his best closing down. He was trying to make things happen. He wasn't great in the air tonight, like holding the ball up. But, you know, like I say, give him a 6. I'm not going to... A lot of people are saying he's washed, he's finished. I'm not going to say that because I've got too much respect for him. He is getting older, but I still think he can offer something to this team. So, yeah, 6 for me. Now we'll move on to the subs. I'm trying to remember all the subs that were made. So, I know McTominay came on. McTominay was okay. Just give him a 6. I don't think he did much wrong. Don't remember him doing too much to affect the game, but I just give him a steady 6. I remember that Fred came on, and again, I'm just going to give him a 6. He didn't really affect the game too much, but he wasn't on for long. Then Rashford came on. I'm actually going to give Rashford a 5. He kept on getting the ball and trying to run it and run it and run it. And playing through the middle, playing in that number 10 role, you can't do that. The pitch is too congested. I think if he'd have been out on the right and he wanted to run with it, all power to him, but I just don't think he used the ball well enough. So he gets a 5. And then, obviously, world's best striker, Harry Maguire. I'm going to give him a 6. Obviously, he tried to put his head on things. He's not playing in his normal position, so I can't really judge him too harshly. I just feel like it was a strange decision to make to put him where Ten Hag put him. So yeah, I don't want to be too harsh on him. He wouldn't be my starting centre forward anyway for United normally. He's not my starting centre back, so I definitely wouldn't want him as my starting forward in a normal game. But I do get that we was desperate and Ten Hag did try and throw the kitchen sink at it, so I get it. Yeah, that's it from me really, guys. Thanks for watching. Give the video a like if you can. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate all you guys that are commenting in on Twitter, you know, voting on polls, giving me stuff to talk about, and actually like giving me a clear head tonight, like from reading your comments, kind of giving me something to work with, because I just didn't know how to deal with this performance tonight. But before I go, I just want to say, even though we won 1-0 and we we finished second in the group. It's still a positive result because we won. We kept a clean sheet. I want to try and stay positive. I feel like we need to see the progress that Ten Hag's made with this team. It's been superb, so we can't judge him too much. Tonight he didn't get all the decisions right, but yeah, it just is what it is. Yeah, like I said before, like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram if anyone's on Instagram. Just search Pete's United Point of View. I'm on there. I'm on Facebook too. Just follow me on all the socials, and thanks for watching, guys. Peace. Thank you.